All right, dude. Thank you for coming on, man. This has been a long time coming. I've always wanted to. You were one of the guests I've always wanted to have on since I've actually started the podcast. So I appreciate you making the time.
Likewise, I'm flattered. Tell me more. Hey, what do you want to know? Something to say. I'll say it.
Yeah, dude. I kind of want to get a sense of because I know we talk about it personally whenever we get dinner and stuff like that. I kind of want to talk about your journey. Because obviously we see you on Instagram, like all the deals you're doing, all the houses you're touring, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when people see like an end result, they often just see the end result. They're not focused on like what was the path to get there.
That's social media to not to rain on anyone's parade, but it's not everyone. Social media is for the wins. It's not for the time you get told to go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
But that's how you get to that.
But that's what I want to go into, man. Where you got told to go fuck yourself. So kind of tell me the journey of how you've where you started and actually how you got this far.
Well, if we're going to talk about it, I got to go way back to the beginning. Mm-hmm. I'm born and raised out here. I'm 43, and my family was
one of the few people I know who's actually from here.
Yeah, it's very few. Yeah. It's more and more these days, but even 10 years ago, if you told someone that you're born and raised in Vegas, they'd be like, they look at you like you're crazy. But so did you grow up at a casino? Mm-hmm. I'd be like, no, there's in a house. It's fine.
Yeah.
But born and raised out here, again, 43. My family was the largest home builder in the state for 30 years, Lewis Homes, and we built over 33,000 homes. Mm-hmm. And my father and grandfather, cousins, uncles were a part of that. And they started having me digging foundations at 8 years old and went through everything. And by 12, they made me take the general contractor's exam just to see if I could pass. And I did. And I worked on over 1,000 home sites before I was 21 years old. And I was ready to slide right into the family business after putting literally 12 years and growing up in it. Mm-hmm. And of course, they sold to KB in 2001 for $500 million. And I was like, fuck, to be honest with you. Like my whole life, I was groomed to do this. And I had to figure out something else. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what to do, to be honest with you. I finished college. I got my bachelor's in history at UNLV, mm-hmm. and I was bartending. And I was like, well, what next? And then my former broker that I worked for 19 years, childhood friend, hit me up. And he's like, how's it going? I'm like, yeah, great, everything. He's mm-hmm. like, how much money are you making? I'm like, we've known each other since we were little kids. I'm like, why is he asking me this? It was strange. And I was mm-hmm. like, I'm making like $300-400 a day, which is a lot of money, especially back in 2003.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, I'm making $3,000 or $4,000 a day. So what are we even fucking talking about here? And I was like, 8 years before the Wolf of Wall Street movie came out, I was like, nothing. I work for you now. Literally. And I called.
You were Jonah.
I was like, I called. Yeah. I was like, I fucking quit. And a year later, I was a millionaire. And made millions every year.
You're one of the few people who I know have actually you actually used to work in houses before you started selling them.
Yeah, this is a rare experience. Doesn't make a man or woman better or worse, but it's unique where I don't really know anyone in the States. Maybe there's other people in other states that had that experience where their family built homes. And I built 1,000 houses on my own. Wow. And so, that's why I was like, I was so butthurt when I couldn't step in the family business and do what I thought I did best.
Yeah. So when you got to the actual brokerage, I guess, what was that transitionary period for you? Did you struggle a lot? Because you said you became a millionaire in a year. So what was your transition?
The market was going pretty smooth. I had all the, the tailwinds, mm-hmm. and the market was going crazy. I had my brokers were my mentors. They were killing it. So I had that as a resource. And then I had my network and my knowledge of this city, which no other real estate broker or agent had, not even close, because at that point, my family built half the town. Yeah, half the single family residences in 2001 were built by Lewis Homes.
Yeah.
And so you can't really put a price on that kind of mm-hmm. experience or background. It's just super unique. Mm-hmm. And now I look back, I'm like, thank God it happened like that. It gave me the edge on everything, which we'll get into more. And so the market was crazy and I knew how to take advantage of that. Mm-hmm. And I had my education and, home building, finance, everything, and, college education. And it was just, everything was for the taking.
100%. So, piggybacking off of that, where do you feel like you developed? Because obviously in what you do, right? And obviously part of what I do with Michael is you need to have that ability to communicate, network effectively, to close properly. Where do you feel like you really sharpened that skill?
I was not a good real estate broker, to be honest with you,
Mhm.
for the first good bit of my career, probably about 10 years,
Yeah.
10, 12 years. And so the market was going crazy. I made millions. I knew how to manipulate the system. Me and my partners were buying dozens of houses a quarter and essentially flipping them, new houses. And we were making it was insane. And then, of course, 2008, if you weren't older, you weren't around, or you were younger, you were around, but it didn't really click what was going on. It was the worst thing that happened to especially this town in 75, 80 years in the country. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Everyone lost their job. Everyone lost their house. Vegas had the worst unemployment and the worst foreclosure rate in the country.
Really?
It was a bloody nightmare.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, it was blood in the streets. It was depressing, to be honest with you. I lost everything. I had 13 houses and 2 Ferraris, because who needs one when you could have 2, and another 6 cars? I would spend $1,000 a day just because. And I was young. I was probably your age, 25, 26.
Wow.
And lost everything, every single thing, except for one house that I moved in my now ex-wife and 3 other roommates, just so I didn't lose that house and had somewhere to live and didn't have to beg my parents to move in with them.
Yeah.
And so my mother was one of the first women, Karen Green Lewis, to have her own law firm in this town. One of the first women. She opened up in 91 on her own, and she offered me a job, and I was like, I don't really want to work for you. She's like, well, you can go back to bartending. She knew I couldn't do.
Yeah.
Because that was my gig before, because the economy crashed. I couldn't get a gig. Or you can go to law school and I'll pay for it, and you can work for me for $398 a week. And she muscled me. I had no choice.
Yeah. You weren't going back to school for 3 years. So
no, I did. I did.
Oh, you did?
I did. I needed a job.
Oh, okay.
If I didn't, I wasn't.
Did you? Oh, so you have your law degree too?
Yes, but I don't practice.
Yeah.
Just want to be clear. I've been sued before. So,
okay, that's dope.
I went to school, hid out in school, and it was actually, like you said, when I looked, the best thing that ever happened to me, because I was so psychologically damaged from losing everything that I had. I couldn't sell a bar of gold to a fucking homeless person at that point. And so I had no choice. She knew I couldn't even get a job at, bartending.
Yeah.
Again, because the economy crashed. So I did that. I worked for her. And that's what really gave me my edge fast forward, because you don't get a pause in court. I've litigated over 3,800 cases. And so under her supervision, that's under the law, in Nevada, in the workers' compensation law. So you don't get to pause. You get to think on your feet. Go, right. go. And that's another unique thing that no other real estate broker that I know has those 2 things. Build 1,000 houses and had your family build half the city at one point. And then that experience where you have to just, I didn't really take it seriously at the time. And I hated every moment of school, to be honest with you. I always hated school, but it really made me who I am. And so that's why when I decided to take everything and bring it into real estate later, and we'll get to that. Like, I don't have to pause. I can just go one take, unedited, face the camera, not the camera, and just go. And we're not, because other realtors can't do that, or other real estate professionals, they don't have the experience or the training to do that.
Yeah.
Where I had no choice, and I just took that into real estate. And so when I got out of school, I immediately got back into real estate because I hated it.
Yeah,
I hated it. And so my mother wanted me to take over a firm. I was like, no, not even an attempt. I'm not taking the bar. None of that.
Yeah.
And I went back into real estate. My partners didn't have anything to fall back on. They built back everything. They went bankrupt too. They built back their real estate business in that 4-year period. And I went back to go work for them.
Yeah.
But I wandered in the desert for like 3.5 years, like Moses, like, what do I do? What can no one take away from me? Because I didn't want to lose everything again. I was like, what can I do where no one can take away everything again from me, where I don't lose everything?
Right.
And I realized that the first thing I had to do was get sober, because I wasn't an alcoholic, but I was a drunk. I didn't like who I was. And this started, like I said, I call it the lost decade, when I was maybe 20, 23-ish. Started drinking.
Was this before you lost everything?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
This was, like I said, before I even before I even really got into real estate. I started drinking. Like I said, I don't have addictive personality. I felt good. I didn't have to think about anything or deal with it, becoming a man or any of that shit in life.
Yeah.
Started drinking. That a few years later, That didn't work. So I started taking trazodone or Valium or Xanax every night because I couldn't sleep. So I was just like a shell of myself. And I can't believe how I worked and went to court and made it through school, or just like I had an almost 88% win rate. I still to this day. I was like, how the fuck did I pull all this shit off?
Yeah.
And so finally in 2015, really, I was like, no more. The problem is me. It's not everyone else. I blamed everyone and everything else. Oh, the economy, this or that, for anything that went wrong in my life. I finally took a look in the fucking mirror and I was like, it's me. So in 2015, I got sober, and that took like 7-8 months. Like I remember going to the doctor because my hands were shaking from not drinking and not taking any pills anymore. And I thought something was wrong.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, that was it. Like, that's how bad it was. And then about 7-8 months later, and I played baseball and tennis in college, and I was out of shape, and I got sober 7-8 months later. And then like the fog wore off. I was back in the gym, and I was like, me again.
Yeah.
And I was like, then it finally clicked in 2016. I was like, what can no one take away from me? And I was like, me. So I stopped selling real estate and started selling me. And really the rest is, and everything fell into place from there. And then less than a year later, I met Michael Sartain.
Yeah. Well, before we go to that, like actually is that, I think it's going to be really important for the viewer. What is, elaborate on the difference between selling the real estate versus selling you? Because a lot of people don't realize, at least obviously because I've done so for such a long time. Honestly, a lot of times when people buy, it's not because the product is great, even though it's great. It's because of the rapport they have with me. So talk more about the nuance there. That's really important.
Yeah, that's huge. So I thought it was my whole career, which was 10, 12 years at that point. Yeah, 12 years. It was like I just let everything on the outside dictate how, if I failed or succeeded in life, personal and in business. And it's like, oh, the market's good and the real estate's good, interest rates are good. That's how, then I'll do well. If not, I'm not going to do well. And I was like, fuck this. Like, no, it doesn't matter. Like, it's, I have the wrong mindset. I'm looking at everything wrong. I need to take control and sell, and really myself. And if I believe in myself and what I'm doing, everyone else is just going to fall in line. It doesn't matter what the outside market conditions are. And it worked. It really did. Like, that's the difference. Instead of being like, oh, well, everything is perfect or not, and make those excuses. And that's what I used to do. And that's what most 95% of, people in my business do. Well, they're fucking tripping right now, to be honest with you, at 8% interest rates.
Yeah.
I had a record month.
I see you at a different house every day.
I almost sold 10 million last month.
Yeah.
How is that possible? The conditions are the same for me. Because I stopped selling real estate and I started selling me. And so people can't just wrap their head around it. You have to actually like try it and put yourself out there. And that's, and I make no judgments, because I was afraid to do that for 35 plus years of my life. The last 8 years, I was like, fuck this. I have a tattoo on my collarbone right there in Latin. It says, I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. And finally, I believe that.
Yeah.
And everything changed once I actually believe that. You can say it, you can get it tattooed. None of that shit matters until like, that's what was the change. What the nuance was, is that I really practice what I fucking preached.
Yeah. So what did you, when you made that like mindset shift of like selling real estate to selling yourself, what different actions did you actually take in the real world?
I didn't really know what to do.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is that you're never going to know.
Right.
You don't know. Tony Robbins talks about this all the time. He's like, everyone's focused on the how. If you do that, you're fucked. You have to focus on the what and the why. And Joe Dispenza talks about this. They're two big influences, like both kind of changed my life. I opened my ears when I heard that. And so what and the why, no one knows how. You figure out the how along the way. Everyone does it backwards. 95% of people on the planet are like, how do I do this? If you do that, you're fucked. What do I want? You have to have, fancy way of what and why is you have to have a clear intent combined with an elevated emotion.
Right.
That's a fancy way of saying having a what and a why. I was like, what am I going to do? I'm going to sell me. And why am I going to do it? Because I saw Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, and I was like, this is the future. And this is why. And I can do this. Like, finally, I can take control. And that elevated emotion, I was like, oh my God, I don't have to deal with, it doesn't matter what's happening on the external. I can actually do this for myself, and it doesn't matter what the fuck anyone else or anything happening around me.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you have to have that emotion to match what you want to do.
Right.
And so if you have those two things, it might sound cliche, but no one can fucking stop you.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy though. And it was very, very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just doing an open house. I had a listing at $1.2 million, which is was crazy high back in 2016, 8 years ago in McDonald Highlands. And my mother lived in there, and friends, brokers lived in there. I was doing an open house, and I just had this idea. I was like, no, my girlfriend at the time was not available. I called my mommy. I was like, come down. She lived down the street. Come down. I want you to film me. And I did this video. It's on my Instagram. It's the first realtor in the country to just do a one-take, unedited property walkthrough video where I'm speaking in the foreground and the property's in the background. Everything to that point in the nation had been property. No realtor. No, there's no association. There's no connection. No, there can't be a causal legal business. There can't be a causal connection if you're not in the video. And you have to be seen in the video, but you have to also speak in the video.
Right.
And you have to be in the foreground, can't be in the background. And that's how we make a subconscious connection with anything, with people.
Yeah.
It happens to me, it happens to everyone. So it's not just, oh, you people, I do that too. No, it happens to me too. Yeah. And I didn't know that at the time. I was just like, I need to do this. I had a what and a why. I had no idea how, and just came. I was like, let me try this. It was fucking terrible. It's on my Instagram.
Yeah.
Go to 2016. I looked like this. I'm like deer in headlights, scared shitless. And it was terrible, but I did it. And I was like, oh my God, I can do this. No one can take this from me, even though it was terrible. But I put myself out there. I'm like, and it was over from that. The next day, I was doing the same open house, the same property. I had my sister come, and I had my 3- and 4-year-old nephews, and we did the Macarena, and my mother filmed it again because my girlfriend wasn't available, and my head's cut off because back then there was a grid on Instagram.
Yeah.
You move up and down. People don't remember. It was still terrible, but it was 10 times better than it was the day before, just because I was like, let me keep doing this.
Yeah.
And like, it gave me something that no one could take away from me. And it made me a man, to be honest with you.
100%. And I think, like whenever that next recession comes or whatever crisis comes, like you having that brand, nobody can take that away from you.
It's unexplainable it's unexplicable to most real estate brokers and experts.
Yeah.
They're like, how are you breaking records and everyone else is going out of the business? Literally, because this is the worst market due to inflation and high interest rates and low inventory, because people can't sell their house because they have a 3% interest rate.
Yeah.
And they can't afford to sell their house. They have their profit, huge amount of equity, but they can't buy another house because they can't afford it, because the interest rates or their payments so much higher. So they're staying in their house. So it's a crazy market where sky high interest rates usually brings prices down and inventory up.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. This has not happened really in history.
Right.
So low inventory, high interest rates. That's counter to all economics.
Yeah.
And so people are like, what the fuck is going on when they see me, and others. But yeah, this is I've laid the groundwork where I thought it was like, fuck, I don't want to do this. Like every single day, I've done over 11,000 stories. I've done, like I said, hundreds of videos of 1 to 7 minutes. And like, I didn't really want to do any of them, to be honest with you. So I enjoyed some of it because I got really good, but there's a difference in wanting to do shit and really just, oh yeah, this is for fun. So when people talk about like, oh, you need to find something you really enjoy and all that, I mean, that's for children, to be honest with you. Like, that's a fantasy.
Yeah.
And people don't want to tell the truth these days. No, every day I do shit, most of it, 90%, I don't want to do. I'm a grown ass man, and I have to get what I want and to take care of the people that I need to take care of.
Right. Yeah, dude, that's actually the thing I wanted to go, into with you.
Sure.
It's crazy to me how reluctant, well, one, real estate agents specifically, but also guys in general are to use social media because they don't understand the value that it could bring to you. Right. Because I mean, talk from your experience, man, because we have to talk about the profession, but like, talk about the power that social media has had just in your life.
Yeah.
Right. Like whether that's with dating, opportunities,
everything,
networking,
everything. Almost everything. And this is like, I used to hate social media, to be honest with you. I didn't even have Instagram until like probably like 2013, 2014, and Facebook like 2012. And I thought it was like a stupid high school popularity contest. I couldn't stand it. And then, like I said, I decided to shift instead of, I'm feeling sorry for myself like a little bitch, to be honest with you. Like, no, I'm a grown man and I need to start acting like it. And how do I do that? Let me try and make shit work for me instead of blaming it. Oh my God, shouldn't be like this. And it worked. And so I was like, let me shift my mindset and let me put myself out there, and to hell with what anyone thinks. And it gave me this like self-confidence that really no one could take away from me. And that's what I was missing in my life. Like, I don't really know how to like even describe it. It was just like, it was very scary. So men are afraid. And what's gone on, at least in my experience in the last 10 years, especially the last 5 years, is we've been told to stop acting like men.
Yeah.
We've been told to start acting like fucking girls.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that if you're a girl. But if you're a man acting like a girl, no, that's going to ruin your life. And so when I had to learn myself, so again, I make no judgments, that in my mid 30s, that like when women tell you to do that, they don't really want you to do that. They're telling you out of a place, like I said, Michael taught me, Sartain taught me this, out of comfort.
Yeah.
They're like, do this to be as if you're their gay best friend.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a girl's gay best friend, act like that. And they mean it. They're not like lying. Women don't lie like that. They're being honest. Behave in this way. And men are like, yes, I want to be like this. And then it started really in the mid late 90s.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I would graduate high school in 1999 with friends and like, oh, sensitive Ross getting the girl, at the end. That's fucking
like
bullshit.
Disney and all this bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's really started in the mid to late 90s with Friends and these other shows, and then Sex in the City. And like, you don't need a man, and a man or this. They're just you act like women acting like men, and men acting like women. It was all fucking half backwards, and it brainwashed me, to be honest with you, and many other men, millions, in my opinion. I had to untangle all of that to be like, no, I don't want to be a gay best friend or some like simp to women in business or in personal life or as friends.
Yeah.
I'm here to provide leadership. I'm here to provide authority, because it's not a bad thing. Men and women are built differently. Women don't know what to do. Women want to work with me because they're like, this motherfucker knows, and they don't.
Yeah.
It's an attractive thing.
Yeah.
And not in a romantic sense. Most women that are around me are not interested in me romantically. They look to me for leadership and surety and to show like the balance them out.
Yeah.
Where they see things like I said, Michael talks about the Sartain all the time. When I walk into a room with my girlfriend, I have no idea what's going on, but a woman's intuition is invaluable. Like she's like, oh, she's sleeping with him. He's cheating on her. This, and I'm like, what the fuck? And she's right every time. I had no clue. And so just like women don't have the ability to make decisions, they're paralyzed by they're not built that way.
Yeah.
I have testosterone
even
going in my
saying
veins.
like this stuff pisses people off.
Yeah, it does.
That's how soft this like
right. And
this culture is. You know?
This is nature determined by God, or if you don't believe in God, you can believe in nature,
believe in science.
So I believe there's God, and God created. Then if there is, it's formal logic, because the lawyer in me. If there is a God, then He created nature, and nature set this up to men and women to be this way. I didn't choose this. Yeah. So even if you don't believe in God, you could just look at nature and biology.
Right.
It's not because I feel this way.
Yeah.
Our fucking feelings betray us.
100%.
How do I know? They betrayed me for 35 years of my life.
Yeah.
So I don't give a shit if it pisses anyone off. I'd rather tell the truth and have people mad, but they're really mad at themselves. They're not mad at me.
Right. Because the interesting thing, because I keep seeing this narrative being pushed, and like, again, this show's not meant to be political. I'm not here to just be some red pill manager alpha male thing, but we do need to come to terms with things that are real. And the reality of the situation is like, with this, I don't want to get conspiratorial, but this the idea that men and women are different being such a controversial idea now is just ridiculous. Because they're doing this thing where it's like men and women are the same. Men can become women, women can become men. And I always say this, like, gender is not something that's societal. Gender is like an experience. Like us fundamentally as men have a different experience than
That's a good
hot
thing.
girl, and it's a good thing. It's
Right.
great.
That's what I'm saying. That's
but
the
we
key they're
have
missing.
to learn and step up. And like what Sartain says it all the time, right? It's like we have this burden of performance, whether
Yes.
the world wants to acknowledge that or not. And it's
Right.
something we have to step
Right.
up to.
The world and women are telling men, you don't have to perform. You don't just be like us.
Yeah.
Don't fucking listen. Guys, don't be mad at these girls. Don't be mad at these women. I'm serious. But don't listen. They don't know. They know not what they say or do. And so we do. That's what I said. I had a obligation, not just to myself, but to others, to act like a man. And I'm not here. I did a reel a year ago, and I finally clicked with me. Even got the last of it out of my system. I'm not here to be a nice guy. I was a nice guy for most of my life. 80% of my life, so there's no judgment. I'm here to be a good guy, and if you don't fucking like it, I don't care. Don't kick it with me. You got a problem with me, like you said. I was picked on from a very young age, and people don't remember. Gingers didn't become in vogue till about 10, 12 years ago. I got scars all over my face, and my hands are all broke. I got in a fight every year from maybe 5, 6 years old to like my mid 30s.
Yeah,
because of the way I look. Like, it's okay. It made me strong. Get my ass fucking whooped way more than it. Let's just say this.
I'm not for bullying, but I do think like more men these days need to get punched.
Bullying.
I think more men need to get punched in the face.
It taught me how to stand up for myself. Because no, people didn't like me. What's really they were just wanted to be like me.
Yeah.
When I think about it, obviously I was a child or a young adult and a young man. I didn't see any of it. I was like, what is their problem? But it taught me to stand up for myself. It really did. And any man can throw a beating. Well, no, not really. A boy can throw a beating. Those are bullies. It takes a real man to take a fucking beating.
Yeah.
And I remember at this, I don't even know what it's called. It's probably called McFadden's. It was at Town Square. It's probably 10, 12 years ago. Still in like 30, 32, 31 years old. And I was getting attention from some women. These guys didn't like it. They're drunk. There's 3 of them. They whooped my fucking ass. Like, beat the brakes off me. You know what? I got up. I was like, I felt like more of a man. I was like, I'm still here. There's 3 of these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And they kicked the shit out of me, made me feel like more of a man. Didn't make me want to beat them up or do anything else. I took my beating. And, I saw them about a month or 6 weeks later there. You know what they did? Nothing. They went, what's up?
If anything, they respect.
They had respect. That's what I'm saying. That's what men are afraid to stand up for themselves. And then they have no self-respect. I had no self-respect for myself until I was literally 30-something years old, and it ruined my life. As soon as I had some self-respect and wasn't afraid to get it or stand up for it, everything changed and everything came together. I didn't have to have a how. Like, shit just fell out of the sky. Like, so 2016, I really made that shift. And then what happens 9 months later? I meet Michael Sartain. And we were just friends. He was just none of the things he's doing now or even
this was before
thought.
Mike was Mike, basically.
Yeah. He was doing his thing and we were friends. And I was like, he'd always like giving me advice. And I was like, what the fuck does this guy care? Like, but he did. I didn't understand why. And I was watching. It was like Miyagi from the Karate Kid. Like, we'd always be hanging out and then I'd watch what he does and it started to influence me. And I started asking him questions. So I was like, I was his original, like, mentee to that kind of he tested everything on to get proof of concept for what he's doing now. Yeah. And everything he did works. It's true. And so I remember I'm like asking him something. He's like, teach a woman how to do something she doesn't know how to do. Watch what she'll do for you. She'll do anything for you. And he wasn't talking about in a romantic or sexual way. He's like, that's power. And I'm like, what? Do that? I'm like, and I started doing that. It worked. I just go step by step by providing value and being competent. Like I said, drew people in, men and women, but especially women. And I got the respect I was looking for. Yeah. And you couldn't fucking put a price on that. And it wasn't about, I get these girls to sleep with me. That's guys that are doing that. I've done that in my life when I was younger. So there's no judgment. It's a fucking waste. You think you're going to feel like there's no amount of women you can sleep with that's going to make you have self-respect for yourself or be a man. Right. And until you come to that conclusion for yourself, no one could fucking tell you. No one could have told me. No, what Michael taught me was do things so you respect yourself, do hard things, fail, and then keep trying, and then watch what the fuck happens. You know what? Every single time he was right.
Yeah.
Every single time, not once he was wrong.
Right. Right. So I guess like when you got connected with Michael, what were like what were the key lessons that you took from like his strategies? Because now you see us with Men of Action, right? Like all the networking we teach, when we teach guys to improve themselves. But you were one of the original people to actually
before any of it existed. We were just friends, and he was just trying to help me as a friend.
Yeah. So what were like the biggest lessons or sticking points that you got from actually working with Mike?
Women don't want you to cater to them. They can't respect you if you cater to them.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I was married when young, 25 to 31-ish.
Oh, you were married too during that time as well.
I was married during the period. Yes.
Yeah.
Married, then divorced. And so then I'd been divorced 5 or 6 years, and I met Michael. And I had a girlfriend at the time that I met Michael, and I was having relationship problems. And I was telling him, and he'd be like, no, stop. She tells you to do something. If you shouldn't do it, don't. And if she doesn't like it, too fucking bad. And don't be afraid. I was afraid. I was like, oh no, if I don't do what she wants, I was walking on eggshells. It ruined me as a man.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying no.
Right.
No. He told me, say no. Watch what happens. She's going to respect you more. And she doesn't even want you to do any of this shit. She just wants to see what you do. Yes. Women test men as they should, to see if they can have self-respect and their own boundaries, to see if they're fucking worthwhile staying with.
Yeah.
So guys don't blame fucking women. It was all on me, and it's all on men.
Yeah.
It's like, no, women need to do these things. So I'm not saying, oh, women are the problem. No, guys are the fucking problem. I was the problem.
Yeah.
As soon as I put my foot down, oh my God, everything was different.
Yeah.
And when I had slipped back into it, running my ass, she had no respect for me and would treat me bad because I wouldn't put her in a position to have any fucking respect for me.
Yeah. And you're also not even respecting your own boundaries. You're not respecting yourself.
Exactly. So how can a woman respect a man if he doesn't respect himself? And that's the lesson the most important lesson he taught me,
100%.
To be honest with you. Because I was good with women. I had female friends, but not on the level, like I said, that I do now and from what he taught me. But no, that was the main thing. And I always, like I said, I had gone to school and I'd always worked from 8 years old and things like that. So that wasn't lacking. I had the competency, yet I didn't have the self-respect and belief in myself. And he taught me, like, no.
Yeah.
Don't. And whatever I said, when I had a problem, he's like, do the opposite. And every time I did it, it worked. And I felt better. And every time I didn't, it fucking dug me a bigger hole, and it was harder to get out of it.
Yeah. And I think you would agree, like, as you were going through your journey, you had to do things that felt wrong. They didn't feel right, but they were the right things to do.
Yeah.
Because you can't just always follow what you feel is right.
Right. It's like with children. I was like, oh, let your children just do whatever they want. I'm like, not if I give a fuck about them.
Yeah.
I don't need my children. A role of a man is not to be friends with kids, their kids or any kids. It's to make sure that they have the ability to survive as an adult. And they're not a self-entitled piece of shit, quite frankly.
Yeah. And
this is very controversial, but it's the truth. My role is not to be friends, not to do any of that. Women play a different role in raising children. That's why what a great team.
Yeah.
Nurture, discipline, authority. Oh my God, you put that together, you have a good child and a good adult.
Yeah.
If you don't,
and a good person,
it's gonna be out of balance. Too much of my heart being a hard ass and no balance the other way. Kid's gonna have issues. The other way, the kid's gonna be worthless.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of see it. Like, well, not kind of see it, but I know this is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally get that, man. I'm glad you brought up the idea. And this is like a theme of something I always wanted to cover is I do see a lot of content out there nowadays where there's a lot of hate and like responsibility being put on like the outside, right? Like it's women are the problem. It's society, it's feminism. It's like, no, it's like at the root of it, it's weak men who are creating the problems that we see now.
And how do I know? Because I was one of those.
Yeah.
So again, you can either be in denial like I was, but I decided to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
And everything, once I did that, everything was fixed. Essentially, it took some time.
Mhm.
You can't just snap your fucking fingers, and that's what everyone wants, and that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
It's not how it works. I had to work and change and do
Mhm.
things most that I don't want to do, 90% things I didn't want to do. And that's what gave me like the self-respect as a man. And every day, literally sounds cliche, I wake up and it's a better day. I feel better about myself than the day before. And before it was worse. I wake up and I feel worse about myself because I was just like, I would just be just giving into, you know, being nice to everyone and getting screwed over. And then, you know, just see, oh, if I sleep with enough women, that'll make me a man. No, I feel worse the next day.
Yeah.
I'm like, what a little bitch I am. Like, this is pathetic. Like, it's not hard to do that. A guy's like, it's hard to sleep with women. No, it's not. It's not. If that's your goal, to have women want to sleep with you is a whole different ball game. Whole different ball game.
Yeah.
You have a woman that actually wants you. Very easy to manipulate and charm and do all those things to get a woman to sleep with you. No, you don't do those things, and a woman actually wants you. You can't put a price on that shit. I tell my friends, I'm like, they want access to my female friends. I'm like, I give them two options. I'm like, here's two scenarios. You tell me if either of these sound bad. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you access to all my beautiful single female friends, but you have to treat them like you would me for a month. And here's the two scenarios going to happen. Like, we're friends. You guys treat them like you would me. Like, okay, here's the two scenarios are gonna happen. One or the other, guaranteed. One, maybe she's not feeling you, like, or you not feeling her. It's mutual, but you never disrespected her. You never hit on her. You never tried to use her. And what's going to happen from that? Whether she's not feeling you, you're not feeling her, it's mutual. You have a friend for life. She will do anything for you, including get you laid out of your mind for the rest of your life, as long as you're single, from all her friends. Brag about you. I have friends. They're like, we were at parties, like I remember like 10 years ago. She's like, gorgeous girl. And she's like, oh my God, Jeremy's the only guy, all these hot girls I don't even know, that's never tried to sleep with me. Ever. They're like, oh, I'm gonna try. So you want that? Like, I didn't ask her to do that. Any of that. I was like, does this sound like a bad deal? No. I'm like, no, because it's not. I was like, here's the second option. You treat her like you would me, and a month goes by, and she's like, oh my God. She looks at you like you're the dopest thing since sliced bread. You can't put a price on it. I was like, when she fucks you, your toes are gonna go back in your head. You can't, like, it's on a whole nother level. And these guys aren't losers. They all have jobs. They're relative, above average and everything, but they have never had that. They don't get it. And like, I'm like, do either of these options, having a woman really respect you and worship you and like be down for you, or having a friend for life that'll do anything for you, including get you laid. Yeah. They're like, no, 95% within 1 hour trying to make out with my friends in the bathroom when we're out.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what happened? I'm like, you're done. Not because I said, because this is a test, and the women test men as they should all the time. This is the strategy,
right?
If you do that, that's what Michael essentially taught me. I had the pillars in place, but that's what Sartain taught me.
And I was like, really had to put it together.
You want power, you want respect, you want self-respect, you want, success, you want status. That's what you do.
100%. And I think a lot of guys
that's hard.
Yeah, it's hard because a lot of guys, I mean, it's just short-term gratification. If you kind of just see, hey, there's this hot girl, I should try to fuck her, I should try to sleep with her, like it's my only shot. But they don't realize, like,
it's not your only shot.
It's not.
You don't have a shot.
You don't have a shot. But
even
also,
if you do,
also she gives you more shots. And that's what guys don't understand. Right? It's like, instead of you going up to that hot girl, every guy's going to approach her. Every guy's going to say something to her. But if you're just the guy who's cool, just for one girl, you just have some delayed gratification, you can meet so many other opportunities. And here's the other thing, like, women can also help you. I think a lot of people don't realize this, but like, you just think about it, right? Like, who gets into the best tables, who gets into the best parties, who gets into all the parties we go to? It's girls. You know how you could also meet other cool guys? Through women. And people don't like realize that women are like the key to like
that's how I met Sartain. I had a beautiful female friend who was friends with Sartain. And she's like, come out and we're going here. And that's how I met him.
Yeah. That's how I met. Well, I don't know if you remember. That's how I
very-
met you. I didn't meet you through
Yeah.
Sartain. I met you at a bikini competition.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people don't realize that. I mean, well, it's also controversial to say that like girls get into parties for free. The best parties are where the hottest girls are.
If it's controversial, I don't know what to say. It's the fucking truth.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, I have eyes and ears. That's why
Yeah.
I was like, motherfucker, I have eyes and ears. You should use them sometime. I'm like, what world are you in?
Yeah.
I'm like, use them and it'll pay off.
100%. 100%.
But yeah, like it's invaluable. Like treating other people well
Mhm.
and having respect for them gives you everything you're looking for.
Yeah.
But you have to do that first. No. Women are not going to do that first. Men have to put themselves out there. Men have to approach.
Yeah.
Men have to do that. Like if a woman approaches you, run for the fucking hills.
If a woman approaches you, she's a prostitute.
Yeah.
Probably.
Or like I said, or when Michael says like is bipolar or has some serious like an addiction or like, no,
Yeah.
no, men need to pursue
Mhm.
and they need to get told, fuck off. No.
Yeah.
And then be like, not cry about it and blame, oh my God, why didn't she like me, little bitch?
Mhm.
No, that's why they don't respect you.
Mhm.
Move on.
Yeah.
Just move on. It's supposed to be like that. It's first, it makes women are supposed to be selective
Mhm.
and not just give in so easy. Chick, you just say, hey, let's hang out. And she says yes, you got a bigger fucking problem on your hands. It's never that easy. If it is, it's too good to be true.
Mhm.
And the second thing is like it builds you up as a man. If a man can't be told no,
Mhm.
he's like a woman.
Yeah.
Women don't like that. I don't care what they fucking say.
Mhm.
Women don't want, unless you said yes. If they want in a platonic gay friend,
Mhm.
a man to act like them, but only in that situation. They want the opposite. Woman's like, I don't like when I get told what to do. She wants to be told what to do.
Yeah.
Every time a woman's ever told me, I will never, the opposite has happened within minutes or hours.
Yeah.
Of anything. Oh, I never go here or I never do this or never. No, they're just at the moment, they believe that. So
Yeah.
women don't lie. They feel that at the moment, and that's what they believe.
Mhm.
You can't go by that. You can't go by feelings.
Any stimulus can change their decision at any time.
That's how they're built, and that's a good thing because we're built the opposite way.
Yeah.
What a great fucking team.
Mhm.
Oh, we're rigid and these things in a logical way. They feel things, and when you combine the two, it's really good.
Yeah.
When you go one or the other, it's too extreme and it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, it's funny enough. I was talking with the sales team about this because I didn't only sell for Sartain before I started working here. I definitely noticed. I don't know if you noticed this, but I definitely noticed that like women are easier to. I find that women are easier to sell to. Do you ever found that?
They're much easier in the fact that like you can't go by what they say. You said, you go by their actions. So their actions,
and you could also speak an emotional language.
Right.
With men, you kind of have to like show like, hey, what's the return? What's the rate? What is this? What is this? Get through their skepticism.
Yes.
You don't really have to do that a lot of the time. Just something I've noticed.
Yes, if you make a woman feel a certain way and not go by what she says, go by what she does, and then speak based on her actions, not by her words. Zero. Once I stop, oh, they're saying this literally means nothing. What are they doing?
Yeah.
And then base how you speak with them in a friend setting, business setting, or romantic setting, you're really going to win most of the time.
Yeah.
And both sides are going to be happy because a woman's not going to tell a man, don't be a little bitch and tell me what to do and lead and this, or I'm not going to respect you. You have to figure that out.
Yeah. They're not going to give you the blueprint.
They're not going to tell you.
They're going to tell you
this. They're going to tell you the opposite to see if you're fucking smart enough to figure it out.
Yeah.
And they should. So it's like, oh, it's the girls. No, ladies. No, you need to do that. I tell all my female friends, because they always ask me, what about this? I'm like, no. A man is supposed to pursue you to the ends of the earth. Don't give him the fucking time of day until he pursues you to the ends of the earth. Then, no, you don't just play with him and tell him no. You let him continue, but you give him some, hey, if you keep going, not there yet, but you give him some encouragement. Keep trying. Keep trying. You're not there yet. Keep trying. Women need to give a man an opening.
Yeah.
Because it can't be like, no. No, eventually, man needs to cut his losses.
Sure.
But no, if it needs to be no until you earn the yes. So if you keep pursuing and a woman leaves open, oh, good.
It's sales,
but
bro.
Keep going.
It's
yes,
sales.
It is sales. And if you're not willing to put in that effort, a woman doesn't want you, because how are you going to protect and provide? And when one little no and you fucking quit.
Yeah.
No chicks like that. None. I don't care what they say. They don't like it. Stop listening to them. Go by what their actions. Go by what the guys they're with.
Yeah.
They're with men that don't take shit from anyone, including them. Who cares if they want someone that they can talk to and feel? No, that's a girl, another female friend, or a gay guy. If they wanted that in a man, they'd be with, why are they all with men that are the opposite of that? So stop listening to them and go by their actions, and then take a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the biggest thing I think guys are struggling with right now is taking a chance, like putting themselves out there.
Right. Because
I want to get your firsthand experience with this, right? Just for people watching, you obviously, I know you for a while, you're very unfiltered on camera and off camera. You say the truth. You say things that will piss a lot of people off.
Yeah. Women don't like it either.
But here's the thing. It seems like your dating life's pretty good. You close more deals and you've gotten more connections.
Yeah.
By setting more boundaries and getting more uncomfortable.
Stop trying to get people to like you. I fucking did that. I did that shit for 35 plus years.
Yeah.
But I exclusively did that for 35 years. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Stop being, like you said, goes to my point earlier. Stop being the nice guy and start being the good guy.
Yeah.
Yes. And
people conflate the two.
Yes. There's a huge difference. Women will respect you. Men will respect you. They don't have to like you. Yeah, the nice guy everyone likes, but they think he's a little bitch, and they have no respect for him, and they just walk all over him.
Yeah.
In a friend setting, in a professional setting, and in a romantic setting. How do I know what happened to me in all three?
Yeah.
So again, not judging you, been there.
Yeah.
Totally been there. I had to change that. And so as soon as I was like, oh my God, not everyone's going to like me. In fact, most won't. Then I got exactly what I wanted. People respected me, and it gave me self-respect, and it gave me more confidence, which made me more attractive to people, not just women, but also men. They're like, this motherfucker's about it. He's not afraid to get shit done. He's not afraid to, if there needs to be physical violence. Yes, women like that, and men like that. Like, this guy's not, if I say some shit and I cross the line, this motherfucker's gonna knock me out or die trying, because I will.
Yeah. And that's the other problem with today, right? It's like, because of social media, you could say all these words to somebody,
right? No consequences.
With no consequences. You don't have to put, a profile picture. You can just be a bot, say all this stuff, but nobody will say it to your face. And that's what we're missing today, because there's no consequence for what people say now.
Mike Sartain's talked about this quite a bit. He's like, when he grew up, and he's a few years older than me, but no, fist fights were good.
Yeah.
When physical violence is a good thing. And be really, when we're like, oh my God, they're going to be fucking up in arms. Let me explain. Let me amplify. Violence for violence sake is not. But for standing up for yourself works.
Yeah.
And if that needs to be physically, it works. You know what happened? Every fucking fight I've ever been in, literally almost everyone, it's been probably 50 fights. The guy wants to be friends afterwards.
Yeah.
Or like you said, the worst, they're strangers, and they're like, they have respect. Those guys didn't talk shit to me that beat my ass that night. They saw me. They're like, what's up? They didn't talk shit. They didn't anything. They just walked off and did their thing. They saw me. They didn't say, oh, get out of here. Nothing. We were cool. It was squashed. Women don't work like that. So I'd rather get the shit kicked out of me 7 days a week and twice on Sunday than deal with what women have to deal with. And I mean that. Women will smile to your face and backstab you and fucking ruin your life for eternity.
Yeah.
These bitches will go on vacation together and they hate each other.
Yeah.
Like, no, men separate.
Dude, I can't tell you how many times because
Girl's laughing at me.
Of course, he's laughing because
my girlfriend's laughing at me.
True.
Like I said, I'm unfiltered with her too. Like you said, it is what it is.
I can't tell you how many times, because obviously with the event stuff we do, we have to deal with a lot of women. I can't tell you the amount of times like I've heard women call other women fucking sluts. They tell them they're ugly, that her face is too ugly, her ass too small, whatever it is, and then hang out with the same girl,
Right.
literally the same
You can
night.
do that, but like you said, don't kick it with the chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
a dude. I don't.
But men can't live in that reality.
No.
That's the difference.
Right. And everyone's telling them they can. No. We don't have to like each other, but I'm not fucking with you. We need to stay away from each other.
Yeah.
And if, like I said, violence solves that, at least in my experience of 43 years since I was a little boy.
Yeah.
We don't need to be liked by everyone, but men need to be respected. That's another thing that's gone on. And Chris Williams and a lot of other people are talking about like this therapy and everything. And I went to therapy when I was younger. It's like, oh, maybe I'm the problem. Like, what's going on? No, therapy is designed really well for women because they need to feel things and like talk it out. Men don't need to feel and talk about and go back in the past. Men need to look forward and have a purpose and feel some kind of importance and feel respected.
And they need to solve a problem.
Yes. And it's not and fix something. And then they snap right out of their depression. They don't need to talk about it with a therapist. It can be the best therapist on the planet. It doesn't work for men. That's why it fails. Amazing for women. So like the problem is not the therapy, is that is designed really works really well for women because of biology and psychology, etc. We're built differently. Like Michael says, men have 17 times the level testosterone that women do. Why would anything fucking work for men that works for women? It doesn't. Like down to like diet. Me and my girlfriend work out together. She doesn't do the same fucking workout routine as me, nor should she. We're built differently. And so like it just to everything. She shouldn't eat the same things as I do, nor should I with her. Like I don't understand. We don't need to be the same. We need to build on our differences and then collaborate together.
Yeah.
Because where I'm strong, she is weak. And where she is strong, I am weak. And it doesn't make me less of a man to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But it does make me less of a man when I tried to become like her.
Right.
It did. I was like, oh, I'll fix it by becoming more like a woman. Ruined my fucking life. I'll repeat that. Like I said, it ruined my life.
Yeah.
Like people are like, what? Yes, it did. And it has nothing to do with women. And women want to take shit personally. No. You can no more take that personally than like you said, it's like get mad the sky's fucking blue. They're not, we're not on the same, even the universe. It's okay though. That's how God or nature or the universe set it up. Yeah. And I thought instead of fighting it, I was like, let me step into what I'm supposed to be, see if it works out. And it fucking did.
Yeah. Like it's really good because like I think a lot of people don't like honestly recognize like there's certain things women are just so much better at that we will never like the way they understand social situations, the way they could point out like who's congruent and who isn't, the way they could like tell when something is wrong before we can. That's invaluable stuff.
Me and my girlfriend are business partners as well. She sees all this shit. Like I bring her everywhere to, and everyone's like underestimates her, and it's perfect. And she's very quiet, the opposite of me. Like I said, it's perfect because she sizes these motherfuckers up, men and women's like, oh, this is the angle here, this and this and that. She's the assassin. I'm the stooge, really. Yeah. And like the advice and insight she gives me is immensely valuable, and it's really led to a huge amount of my success and progress in the teamwork is really cool, actually. Yeah, because it's like, wow, like I don't have to learn, which I can't, to learn how to be like her. She doesn't have to learn to be like me. Like I can run people over. She doesn't run people over. She goes around. Yeah. Sometimes my way works. Most of the time her way works, or I don't even know. And she's like, no, this person is looking for this and they want to have this angle or that. And I'm like, I have no idea. And she sizes them up every time she's been right. Yeah. We're not superior. We're not inferior. Neither side is. We both bring unique set of things to the table. And society has told us that we're equals. We're fucking not at all. No more than I can raise children. Women have that ability. Like everyone thinks that's a negative thing in society. Society would collapse if there weren't mothers to raise children. She's better with children and with, in general, nurturing in the way she talks to people than I'm a fucking hammer. Yeah. She's a nail. nails on their own, they don't do shit. Hammers on their own break shit. I broke shit for 35 years of my life. I'm a fucking hammer. And hanging out, that's why I don't hang out with, I hang out with men like you and Sartain, and I have a few other friends. But generally, like, and I'm an alpha. And other alphas, I was like, oh, I'm not going to hang out with betas and all these losers anymore. I'm hanging out with other alphas. But that wasn't even good because alphas are like, clap for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the general. Like, they clap for watch me break shit. All my friends were like, oh, fight. Yeah, fight. This. Like, yes. More. Like, clap. It's not that I prefer the company of alpha males, but I can't be around them that much because hammers just break shit.
Yeah.
Hammers and nails build shit. And that's what I have. And it took me most of my life to get there. But
you have to use the hammer in the right situation to get what you want.
Yeah. You have to.
The hammer needs to go to the nail, not towards anything.
Exactly. Men are hammers. If you build yourself up, I had to build I wasn't a hammer. I was a little fucking like, a little plastic toy thing, whatever that is. Plastic thing you're talking about. And then I was like, okay, I need to become what we talked about, earlier. I need to become a hammer.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, it's a very, like I said, there's a very clear cadence to this. Then you need to, then I was like, oh, look at this. I'm a hammer. And I started breaking shit. Well, I'm power drunk. Like I said, had the other hammers around me clapping for me. I'm like, well, these guys are badasses, so it must be okay. Wrong. When I found the right nail to build shit with, unstoppable. 100%. And that's what I found. But I had to be like, no, this is the way it needs to go. Instead of like compete, we need to collaborate.
Yeah.
And everyone's fucking competing. Everyone chicks like, I want to be like, I can do what anything a man does. Why the fuck would you want to? Even if you could, you can't.
Yeah.
And men are like, I want to be like a woman. Why the fuck would you want to do that? Even if you could, I can't do 1,000 things literally that she's better at than me. And I have 1,000 things that I'm better at than her. Why would I want to even try?
Yeah.
I can just rely on her. That's how nature set it up. Universe, again, you can call it whatever you want. It's semantics, in my opinion. That's how I see it.
Yeah, dude. I think going back to the onus being like on men, I mean, because we look at the side of things where like, I mean, look, you watch enough of this content to see like the delusional standards women have.
Yes.
The OnlyFans culture. Obviously, we live in Vegas, so we see this stuff. And like, I always think to myself, I'm like, well, at the end of the day, it's like the guys going to the strip clubs and like giving women free attention. It's the guys on the sugar daddy websites. It's the guys being nice guys. It's the guys having no boundaries. It's the guys paying for OnlyFans. It seems like the problem is men.
We were the problem. I was the problem.
Yeah.
Let me be clear. I was the problem.
Yeah.
It wasn't there was zero women that were the problem. I chose to be around garbage women.
Yeah.
Because I was the problem.
Yeah.
Garbage attracts garbage. And so couldn't blame any of them. I put myself in that position. I'm a fucking grown ass man. Yes. Women are not in a position physically or mentally to be in positions of authority and leadership. And women are like, why? My friends and strangers would ask me my whole life. And I tell them, like, when I step into a room, I talk to people, they'll be in a circle. We'll be in a circle at a real estate events.
Yeah.
I'll be talking to people, we'll be in a circle, and I will leave and go to the bathroom. And then my female agents that work for me, and then, this guy started hitting on me and being perverted. And
they're like your spies.
And then this chick, not even that. You're gonna like this.
Yeah.
And then the women would start being catty and talking shit and backhanded nonsense. As soon as I stepped away. Why? Because it's nature. The threat of violence was removed. So these motherfuckers mouth off.
So and true colors are shown.
Yeah. And women are like, people can tell subconsciously immediately when they encountered me. When I became a man, like, don't cross this line. There's gonna be for a man, there's gonna be fucking physical violence.
Yeah.
When we're like, I can't talk to him like I do these other bitch made betas because he's gonna clown me and run circles around me. So I'm not gonna do it. So I literally go to the bathroom and that shit comes out because I've been removed from the situation. And my female agents, they want to be around me because of that, not because like, oh, I'm better than them or any of that bullshit that women are twisting shit into. Because I bring that to the table. They bring several dozen other things to the table. But that's the difference. Women don't have a threat of violence.
Yeah.
There's no threat, and no women have that. So they can't be respected and they can't be looked at or no one's going to be intimidated by them. People are intimidated by me for good reason most of the time.
Yeah.
They're not going to ever have that, not because they're less than, because they're not built that way. It's not my gain or their loss or their fault and no, it's the way it should be.
Yeah. It's interesting you bring that up because obviously now you're in a leadership position. So you have a team. I know you're obviously starting your own brokerage here very soon. And to compare that with, what we've done at MOA, for a long time, the whole sales team was guys, right? Like guys run meetings, everything like that. And we were like, all right, let's see what happens. Cause it's called Men of Action, right? Michael Sartain, like 95% of his followers men. Well, the thing is we actually hired a female sales rep. And we thought like, all right, guys aren't going to open up to her. They're not going to really show their true colors. Maybe it's not going to work. But then she started like crushing the other appointment setters.
I'm sure she's running circles around everyone.
She's incredible, but it's because it's kind of like what you said. That threat of violence or that male masculine aura, whatever it is, isn't present when talking to her.
Right.
So she's able to extrapolate.
For a man to open the wallet.
Exactly.
Because I'm not like, hey, open your fucking wallet or you're a pussy.
Exactly.
Whether I say it or not, that's how it's gonna feel.
Yeah.
To a man, because it's nature. They should, because it's real. And so there's less aggression. There's more, like I said, more nurturing men like that.
Yeah, it brings the defenses down.
Yes,
that's a big deal.
Yeah, and that's why like I said, people would always like, oh, he just hires all these women for his own pleasure and this or that. I'm like, I hired and I was like, okay, we'll see. So I hired a total pimp, like he's in Thunder from Down Under, male stripper, grown man, like in his 40s. Like,
I'll cut it out of the podcast. Who?
What's that?
I'll cut it out of the podcast, but who? Is it Danny, Liam? Which one?
No, it's Scott.
Scott.
Scott's he's the MC now.
Oh, okay. Got it.
But yeah, no, Scott's worked for me years. And I was like, no, like better voice than me.
Yeah.
Like I said, total, like good look pimp. Yeah. Like you said, like, and it just works. And so it's not just about, it's about who can bring what they need to bring to the table. But yes, primarily I have beautiful women that are also smart and also hardworking. A beautiful woman's worthless on its own. If she's beautiful and smart but won't work, still you have to have all three. I bring those in because they're better at closing than me.
Yeah,
they are.
They're lethal, bro. It's not even like they're just a little bit better.
It's a fact.
They're exponentially better.
It's a fact. It doesn't take anything away from me. I can say it. Yes, almost all of them are better at getting the deal done than me. They're way better. Let's just say this. They're elite compared to me as openers. Yes, I'm probably one of the best closers. I had 20 years in the business and all my background we spoke about. Yeah, when it's time to close the deal, they come to me. But I couldn't open like them. I couldn't do when we're on the about to punch in the end zone. Yeah, they a lot of the time they need me, but that's not even because they need a male. It's because they don't have the experience that I have and the knowledge. And the only way you do that is, by being in the game as long as I have. And so it's not because I'm even a man.
Yeah.
So they're just better. And so why would I have, like you said, I have Scott. He's amazing. But because sex sells, whether a man or a woman. He brought all this, the appearance, the work ethic, the intelligence, and all these women did. So it doesn't matter. If you have that, I do it, but on balance, it's 5-1. Yeah. Why? Because that benefits me and it benefits them. They need what I bring to the table for my authority, my, like you said, when it's time to get a motherfucker to act. Yeah. They don't want to look like a clown in front of me. It's very valuable, the dynamic and interacting. So I don't need a bunch of guys. I don't need a bunch of me's. They need me, and I need the balance with them, what they bring to the table, and it works really well. Yeah. So what you're saying is, because I think a lot of guys kind of get into this trap where they think girls are only good for parties or going out to clubs and stuff like that. But you're saying you have these professional, high-end, high net worth real estate events, and the women are actually your teammates and help you. Yeah, they work for me. Yeah. They work for me. They're agents and they work for me. Yeah. I build them up. I make them money. They make me look like a G. Yeah. Status is status is status, to quote Sartain. Yeah. And he was absolutely right. It doesn't matter. When you have beautiful, competent women working for you, everyone wants to give you their money. Everyone.
Yeah.
I have clients that look at me and they have 20 times my net worth. And they're like, I can't get any of these women just to like
speak to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let alone be friends, work with, or have anything romantic with. And then let people assume we're not the thought police.
Yeah.
I'm not here to like correct everyone. And so I didn't say it. You know, if some guys assume I'm sleeping with all those women, it's first off, they're fucking idiots, and that's their problem, not mine. But it works to my advantage. I'm not here to be like, hey, it's all platonic, everyone. I sound like a douchebag.
Yeah.
There's a story I tell everyone regarding this. It's like, it's really important, especially in business and with women in interactions. I was 6 years ago when I first started. I was a couple years into this, and I was walking to LVR, this Association of Realtors building, and an attractive woman and her friend was she was an attractive girl. Her friend is I don't get starstruck. I was like, wow,
smoke show.
Yeah, and she just was. They're walking out, and one of them had reached out to me on Facebook saying, I'd like to work with you, X, Y, and Z, a few months earlier than that. And I said, I'm just getting this going. I'm flattered, but when I'm able to have that, bring on more people, I will, but it's not the time. And she saw me. She's like, hey, Jeremy, never met her before. I'm like, hey, Patty. And she introduced me to her smoke show friend as, hey, this is Jeremy Lewis. He's the largest buyer's broker in Las Vegas. And I was like, hi, nice to meet you. What am I supposed to say? No, I'm number 17. I sound like a fucking douchebag. No, we're not there to. That's her perception of me. I didn't say it. I didn't say I'm number one or any of that. So if you don't say it, men are not here to correct people's perception of them if it's positive. Yeah. I was like, hi, nice to meet you. And that was it. That's how she saw me. And I was like, wow. Like, it really got me in fucking gear to work even harder. I'm like, I'm not even close to there yet. Let me get my ass in gear. Yeah. I want to become that guy.
Yeah, dude. And I think a lot of people, and I think you could attest to this, the idea of pre-selection isn't just something that helps you become more attractive to women. Obviously, we know that part does. We know that. But it also helps you attract other just high-value people. It helps you get more business. It helps you expand opportunities that you wouldn't have been able to otherwise.
Yes, and becoming a man instead of being a boy and everyone like me was a huge thing. I at a certain point in my life, I wanted every woman to want me and want to sleep with me and this, that, whether I did or not. No, that's not what I was chasing after that. Yeah. It was chasing the fucking dragon with that shit. Yeah. No, you need to have people respect you. Right. And admire you. Yeah. That's what's going to give you what you're looking for to really become successful, which brings in, like I said, women you're looking for, not trash. Yeah. But everyone toxic fucking, crazy nonsense. But I brought that on myself because I was toxic and crazy, if you want to, whatever you fucking want to call it, because I'm the master of my own destiny. No woman was. And if a man thinks that a woman has any power over him, he's fucking out of his mind. Yeah. It's the only power that you give a woman. Yeah. And I gave that power to women, and it ruined me. Ruined me, not just in my business, in my friendships, in the relationship, not just in the relationship. Yeah. There's consequences. Yeah.
It's almost like the more boundaries and the more limitations you put up, the more you get in life.
Yes, with anyone, but especially women, they really look up to you. Yeah. I have women, like you said, never even met them. They're like, they contact me for advice, and not even in real estate. Yeah. They're like, you don't take any shit from anyone. You don't walk all over anyone. You don't abuse, oh, you probably know about life better than me. And then they're strangers, so they feel safe. So how do I do this or how do I do that? I'm like, you want to know from me? Literally. I'm like, wow. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, motherfuckers look up to me. You can't put a price on that. Right. There's no amount of money, women, power. No, you cannot put a price on admiration and respect. You really can't. I thought you could. Yeah. But you can't. I know thousands of motherfuckers that got so much more money than me, and they're miserable. They want to be me to that point. men see me and they want to work with me and give me all their money because they're like, I have 100 million in the bank. They assume I have 150 million in the bank because if I have this
By the way,
amount,
for people watching, when we say 100 million in Vegas, that's not like an exaggeration. People here have 100 million dollars in the bank.
Yes, there
but
are.
Go ahead.
I'm saying I'm giving the large number.
Yeah,
whatever you want. Got $10 million in the bank, and they assume I have 20 because they're like, I have this amount of money because that's the big mistake that men make is they equate how much money they have to their social standing and their status and their social proof.
Yeah,
there's zero fucking correlation.
Yeah,
or I wouldn't be able to do any of this. No, I make a good amount of money, a lot more than most, but that my clients and thousands of men I know have nothing that I have because they've only built themselves up to make money. And most of them, 95% of them were stepped on motherfuckers, men and women, and lied, cheat, and stole to get to that point.
Yeah.
That's why their life is shit and they're completely unhappy. And they're like, but they assume because their brains aren't working right. They're like money, status, respect, this and that. No, there's not. You're just a target for thirsty bitches, to be honest with you.
100%.
So it's really, you're in the worst.
Yeah, Scarface got it wrong, bro.
You're in the
what is he saying? Scarface
first
is like,
you get the money and then you get the power.
You get the women. That's completely wrong.
No, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
It's really the opposite, like Sartain says.
I never thought about that. Actually,
really
it is the opposite. You're right.
Yes. First you get women, not in a not in the sexual or romantic way.
No, but as allies,
value, yes,
teammates,
friends, business partners, and you provide value to them.
Yeah.
Then they increase your status and you become successful.
Then you become more powerful,
and then you get the power,
and then you get money off of that
because everyone wants to be you and give you all their money. So these clients of mine and men want to give me all their money because they assume I have more than them because I have beautiful women that are and not more than beautiful and bring shit to the table, and they're like they can't even most of them have to pay chicks to freaking even talk to them.
Yeah.
And so they assume I'm way more successful, way more powerful than them, and it makes me money.
Yeah, dude.
And it makes all the people around me money. And these women know that. The smart ones. Instead of like, oh my God, why can't I do it like you said? Why can't I be like him? The women that work with me, I tell them, I read them the fucking Riot Act. I'm like, if you're looking to get the credit or to be taken seriously or to any of these things that I am, you're never going to get that. It's not, don't blame me, blame the world, blame the universe, blame God. But if you want to get rich and get in a position where it's fuck you money or no one can tell you anything, I can do that for you.
Yeah.
Can I, is anyone ever going to take you more serious and respect you or be afraid of you like they are me? No. So if that's why you're coming on, that's never going to fucking happen. You're going to fuck my shit up.
Yeah.
You're going to, and I don't want you. But if you want to get so wealthy and powerful that you don't have to deal with any of this bullshit anymore, I can do that for you.
100%.
And very few, I'd say 1 to 2%, say yes and follow through. And 98% fall by the wayside. And that's the way it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's not easy because they have to check their fucking ego. Just like I have to check my ego.
Right.
With them. Like, why can she just like touch a man on the shoulder and get him to do whatever the fuck she wants? Oh my God, why can't I do that? No, let that go. It doesn't matter why. She can. I'm gonna collaborate instead of being like, be butthurt. No one wants to be butthurt.
Yeah.
Be someone else or something else.
Yeah.
I did that. It didn't work. What works is like,
I think a lot of guys, they kind of see. I mean, I always use the analogy of nightclubs because that's where in Vegas, that's where we communicate, that's where we hang out, that's where we talk business.
It's a good social experiment.
It's great. It's the best social experiment I think there ever is. But I think a lot of people guys specifically get discouraged. It's like, girls get free drinks, they go to the best tables, they go to they hang around the DJ and stuff like that. And I honestly see that as like when I saw that, I was like, that's awesome because that's a benefit for us. That helps us. That helps us network. That helps us get more opportunities. Let's put dating aside. That helps us just achieve more.
Yeah, why not be friends with them?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a bad wave to ride.
You'd be shocked how many guys don't.
No, I'm not shocked. But I'm saying it just doesn't make any logical sense. And men are supposed to have some fucking sense in their head. They don't. I'm just saying they don't. I'm like, no, you take advantage of this. You use your deploy resources. I can't do everything on my own. Like I said, as soon as I was like, oh, my girlfriend's going to know better than me and she could talk to this person better than me and close this. And then instead of just like, I can do it on my own, I'm the big shot, I'm the man, and relied, oh, let her do this. Every time it worked. Every time I was like, no, I don't need anyone or anything. It didn't work at all.
Yeah.
It actually blew up my fucking face.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing damage control and cleaning up my own mess or having to beg other people to do it for me. And yes, we need to collaborate. And now I have all these female friends and they're like, can you set me up with a good guy and this and that, instead of like, and so they even see like, oh, here's what's out there, but there's alternatives. They're like, oh, Jeremy's not like that. He must have friends that aren't like that too. And then they're like, like I said, if I like, as soon as I'm like, yes, I'm going to put you guys together, they're not putting up these walls. They're not, being standoffish. None of that. They're like, oh, Jeremy says respects his motherfucker, so I'm going to. Yeah. And it's much easier to be friends and have a business relationship, a friendship, or a romantic relationship when you're not coming from like stranger danger. Yeah. These chicks are, I wouldn't trade places with a chick if my life depended on it. You couldn't pay me enough. There's no amount of money to be stalked and sexually harassed and freaking that they have to deal with. Like, no, that's not a good deal. And so it creates this division. Yeah. Because women think all men are like that. No, just douchebags are like that. And then there's the other side that are the little scared mouses, just as bad as the douchebags. Yeah. But then there's about half of men, which are in the middle. They're decent motherfuckers. They're looking, trying to find someone or work with someone or become friends with someone on meets and have some common ground. And these walls are built up and it prevents it from happening. And we have to knock those walls down. Yeah. The women are not going to be able to do that because they're literally afraid for their life, as they should be. Yeah. They should be. It's dangerous out there. You need us to look out, the right men to look out for you, and you look out for us. You see all our blind spots, and we make sure you're okay. Yeah. It's a great way it's a great collaboration with, as far as I'm concerned. Team. Yeah. I don't see a problem with it. I really don't. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I just don't. I think that's the way nature set it up. And I think, yes, if you're on the extremes, it's not going to work. Yeah. But in general, it does. And we see these extremes on social media. It's not really the reality. It's reality for a lot. But the majority, there's a silent majority in this country, in the world. It's not like that. Yeah. Dating and all these social dynamics were so much different 10 years ago. Yeah. People were like, oh, no, it's from social media. Where these, again, Michael talks about it all the time, this illusion of options. And then men can access women wherever and deploy their resources and kind of co-opt. Every woman can think they can be with this high status man because he can be literally at 1,000 places at one time because of social media. Yeah. And women think, oh, this guy's giving me attention. I can get a guy like this. Delusional on this side, delusional on this side, fucking out of their minds, all of them. And then they end up, like I said, older and alone and childless, both sides. It's not fun. It's not. You can pretend all you want. That's an illusion as far as I see it. Like I said, social media is I don't post the times I get told to fuck off. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I get told I'm posting the wins. That's what it's for. It's not real life.
Social media is a tool to get what you want. It's not there for you to post your fucking life story.
No, you're not supposed to put anything. It's not for negative things. It's just it's to show everything positive you're doing in your life and business and everything. And then that it's a mechanism to build upon that. Yeah. It's not real in that sense. Everyone gets told no. Everyone gets rejected. Everyone loses. Everyone gets fucked in life. If you put yourself out there. Yeah. That's how you learn. Like, I don't want to deal with anyone that's hasn't been or that can't admit, men or women, to get their ass kicked. Yeah. And proverbially in life, because then they have no wisdom. Zero. I had no wisdom until I was like, I finally put myself out there and I lost my ass and went bankrupt and rebuilt myself and changed everything really about myself. Yeah. I learned. I didn't learn for 80% of my life. Then I finally learned, and it gave me wisdom. And people are like, "Oh, you think you know everything?" I'm like, "No, I'm not really smarter or better than anyone. Not at all. It's just I've just been there. I've been lied, cheated to, stolen from, screwed over so many times. I see it coming from a mile away, and it gives me, because I have wisdom now, because I finally fucking learned. Oh, maybe you should stop drinking and doing these pills. The same fucking, Groundhog Day every day. Maybe you should stop feeling sorry for yourself because you got divorced and sleeping with a different chick every night and expecting something different result. No, I became wise. That's it. From failing so many times and fucking up my life like really bad. I want to say it. Fucking up my life really bad made me who I am today in a good way and gave me the wisdom that put me in this position where I can succeed and I can take care of others and other people respect me and look up to me and want to be like me. Oh my God. Like, there's no amount of money. I've had millions. I've been bankrupt everywhere in between.
Yeah.
None of that shit is it's garbage compared to having that.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a man.
100%, dude. 100%. Here's something I want you to elaborate on, specifically because you're in a business where you're a closer, right? You get paid for a service and there's an exchange of value. Right. I think a lot of guys conflate, and you understand this very well because of the circle that we're in.
Yeah.
A lot of guys conflate when having money for having status, and they are not the same thing. Sometimes they're even inversely related. Talk more about that distinction.
Yeah. Again, Sartain, 100% right. Guys with money will mostly get talked about behind their back. You get used by men and women, primarily by women, manipulated by women to extract resources and get clowned on and talked about what idiots they are and losers.
And they just become a bigger target.
Right. So there is no correlation. And so either those men build themselves up to become men, or they just double down and triple down on their money, and then they treat other people like they're being treated, which is the status quo, unfortunately. That's a huge difference. Like most of my circle or anyone that I run with have more money than me, but they look to me, whether they want to admit it or not. I have fucking eyes and ears. And my girl, like I said, what I miss, she doesn't. It's like, that guy looks up to you. That guy wants to be like you. That they're around because they want to be like me, even though they know I have less money than them. And so they're just not willing to do the hard things and to get told no, because it's very easy just to fucking pay a chick to do what you want. It's easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
It's an easy way out.
Yeah. I'm no stranger to any of that. I've been in strip clubs. I spent money in there. I would go, like I said, the truth is the truth. It's fucking pathetic, but it's the truth. And people need to know instead of pretend like it didn't happen. I'd pay chicks just to talk to me and pretend like they liked me. At a certain point, I was that low.
Yeah.
And had such
you've done both sides.
Yeah. It's such a low point in my life, and it's such low self-esteem. But like I'd been with plenty of women. I would go to strip clubs all the time to drink myself into a fucking frenzy so I wouldn't have to feel anything. And so I wouldn't have to act and change anything, just be numb. And I'd literally pay chicks to talk to me at the bar. I'd buy them drinks. I'm like, here's $100. Will you stay for 15 minutes and pretend like you like me? Quote. I did that for years. It's a dead fucking end.
Yeah.
It really is.
I feel like that is such a rock bottom. Obviously,
it was pathetic.
Yeah, no, but
I was there.
Yeah.
So I make no judgments when I say all of the things that I've said.
Yes. He's here to help you. He's not here to judge you.
I've been there. Yeah, it's not like, oh, yeah, I avoided all of this and I saw the light. Anyone that says that, I think they're fucking liars, to be honest with you. Like all of them.
Yeah.
When I say I mean I know that they're fucking liars.
Right.
No one has gotten anywhere by just seeing the light and winning and not that you can't. It's physically impossible. Because you can't, if you don't fail, you can't acquire any wisdom to become better if you just win all the time. You have a golden horseshoe up your ass. That's it.
Yeah.
That's actually the worst thing that can happen when agents come on and they have a success and initial success. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to lose them. And 99% of the time I do, because they think it's going to be that easy. Yeah. And they don't have to be better and work harder. They're just like, show up and they're going to fucking make 50 G's because they did that.
Yeah.
Poison.
Right.
Poison, especially for a man. Poison.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like initial success or when something's initially given to you, you don't realize like how much work. Sometimes you honestly get lucky, but sometimes when you
Everyone
conflate,
does.
yeah, we all get lucky at something, right? But when you conflate the luck for that it's because of you,
skill, ability, anything
No.
like hard work, no.
Yeah. And you don't grow from that either.
Yeah, they think, oh, I don't have to do anything and this is going to repeat itself. And it never does.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing that can happen to any agent.
Mhm.
And that's what happened to me. Like I said, I made millions the first 3 years in the business. I was like, I don't have to do shit. I just show up.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It took me 5 years. That's literally almost 5 years to psychologically recover.
Yeah.
Or 4 years. Plus.
But you learn the most from being at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's where you got
like,
strongest.
Literally from making $200,000 a month to $398 a week. My mommy had to fucking give me a job.
Wow.
And she still wouldn't even do that unless
Talk
I did
about
what she
falling
wanted.
off a fucking cliff, dude.
Yes.
200,000 a month,
yes.
300 a week.
I spent at least $1,000 a day, no matter what.
And you were how old?
24, 25, 26.
Wow. That's crazy.
Lost everything. All my cars got repoed. I have to ask my daddy, who I didn't want to go to get me at least me a car.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I had 13 houses, lost all 12. Like I said, I moved in 3 roommates plus my now ex-wife to pay the mortgage, or I was going to lose that house too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I had to go to an office every morning at 8:30, and my mom was my boss.
Yeah.
For $398 a week. It doesn't get any fucking lower from where I was than that.
Yeah.
But it had to happen. And I finally learned. It still took me, like I said, it took me 8-9 years to fucking learn.
Yeah.
From there. Yeah. It took me like almost 9 years to stop feeling sorry for myself, to get sober, and to like take a look in the mirror, because I didn't like what I saw in the mirror.
Yeah.
I was like, if I make all this money and have all this stuff, all these women and do all these things and impress people and can just run circles around people in certain academic settings or whatever business settings, that's value. No, I didn't deal with any of my shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I did, I didn't like it at all. It was the hardest thing I ever had to do. And it wasn't getting sober that was hard. It was like, oh my God, here's my real state of affairs in life, and I've done nothing. Why I don't respect myself, because I've done nothing to have any self-respect. Mm-hmm. And I literally had to start over, in my opinion, from scratch at 35, 34, almost 35. Mm-hmm. Look what I did in 8 years. Yeah. Like, I thought it was impossible, but I was like, I have no choice. I got to such a low point that I couldn't do what I was doing anymore. And people call it, rock bottom for addicts or whatever. It wasn't even about that. It was just like, I finally got to the point where I just could not go on that way. And instead of just continuing and wallowing, I was like, no, there is some, I haven't even tried for something better. So there has to, there's not, I can just go back to being a fucking degenerate. Yeah. If there's not, what do I had? Nothing to lose. Finally, at 34 and plus, I had nothing to lose. And I really just put myself out there and didn't give a fuck because I had nothing to lose. Yeah. I think you even said that, like, even when you had the money, cars, houses, whatever it was.
No,
it was like,
I felt like
shit about myself.
Yeah. So I guess for you, that's exactly what I wanted.
And that's how I know all these guys do.
Yeah.
Because all I had was these things.
When you had those things, what was
and women
missing?
But not really. Yeah. They're around for various reasons. Yeah. Not because of they cared for and respected and admired me. Right. That's what a man has to have. I don't care if they say no. They're fucking liars. That's what a man wants. Men do all these things thinking they're going to get that from getting this money or this success or this whatever. That's what I did. I was like, oh, if I could do these things, I'll have the respect of my peers and other men and women. No, it was the opposite. It really was. I remember, oh my God, it's like 2013. I was in a terrible fucking place. Just out of my mind. I remember I'd go out by myself. almost every night. And I'd meet up with people sometimes. I'd go to, like I said, I made friends everywhere. And so I knew everyone that worked at SDK, the bartenders. I was going in, I'd wear suits and just like, everyone thought I was a host because so I wouldn't feel like even more shitty about being by myself drinking every night like a degenerate. And I remember walking into SDK or walking out actually, and just like, fuck, Groundhog Day again. I saw this guy. He was in a suit and he had his shoulders back and he had said certain look about him and had a girl's holding his hand and everyone was shaking his hand and he was somebody and he didn't fucking act like a douche or anything like that. He just like, he handled it like a G. And I was like, I want to be like that guy. I'm going to be that guy. And then I was.
Yeah.
Years later, that was like, I was still in that was like bottom, and I still stayed there for a couple more years. Like, still, I remember that motherfucker's face.
Yeah.
I was like, that is who I want to be. And I actually fucking became that. So anything is possible, literally, from that pathetic, tragic place I was at.
Yeah.
To that guy. I'm that guy.
Yeah.
I'm literally that guy. It still feels unbelievable. I did that. No one did that for me. I decided to do that. And it took years and years and years, but I did it. It's possible.
But it started with that one mental shift. I think that's what
that
you're
was,
saying.
yeah.
What was that mental shift for you? Was it like, what was the realization you came to? Was it that like you were the problem? Was it that you realized you were holding yourself back? Like, what was that mental shift that was holding you back?
I don't know exactly, but it's similar to like what, again, to Sartain. It's like he shows, and now that I've, modeled myself after him for several years, he shows what's possible.
Yeah.
That motherfucker showed me what was possible. And I never knew him, never encountered him again. Still do how his facial hair was and how he conducted. It's like scary that I'm like that. Like,
yeah,
to the T now. I encountered him less than 15 seconds. I was like, oh, but I'm saying I just feel his energy or whatever you want to call it, vibes. I was like, this dude is a G. He's not about stepping on people. He's about leading by example and being like, he's a real fucking man.
Yeah.
And everyone knew it. And I was like, I fucking want that. And that seeing that was possible without stepping on people or just using or just acquiring what I thought, oh, if I have enough money and then these women will want me or this or that, or I'll get what I'm looking for. For the first time in my life, and that was, I remember as clear as day in 2013, walking out of SDK at the Cosmo, I saw it as possible. And that's Michael leads by example. He shows what's possible if you do these things.
Right.
That's the correlation. That's really what men have to see, that there's an alternative to what the fucking bullshit that they're in.
Yeah.
Or there's no way out.
And you need to give yourself, I really believe you need to give yourself like just the honest truth. Right. I lied
to myself for so many years.
Dude, I got flack the other day. I don't know if you saw this clip, but I didn't think I said anything that crazy, but I said, while I was sitting here, it was Weston Corca. He was where you're sitting. And I said, like, dude, like when you're out of shape, when you're overweight, like you're dumber, and you are.
Yeah, no,
like,
I saw
and I don't mean like your IQ is lower. Actually, it might be. But the point is that you're in a state where you're a slave to your impulses and you make less rational decisions that are going to improve your life. And that's fucking true.
It's biology.
Yeah, it's
true. It's empirical. It exists it exists outside of what we want to believe. People are like, you can believe whatever you want. It's still, the truth is empirical. It exists. It's objective. It exists outside of our own biases and our own personal feelings. We can feel whatever the fuck we want. I can conjure up all kinds of feelings and things and make up any kind of narrative I want in my head. Doesn't make it real. It doesn't make it real. I did that. And what you do make in your head, what you do create in your head, and how you see yourself in the outside world, your reality will follow.
Yeah.
It can be a beautiful thing, or it can be a fucking nightmare, like it was for me. It was a nightmare. I hated who I was. Everything felt like shit. I was like, oh, I tried all these quick fixes. And like I said, drugs, alcohol, real, like antidepressants, therapy, this and none of it worked. None of it worked.
Right.
None of it. Because until I stopped the narrative, the made up fantasy in my head about who I was and what the world was on the outside, I was like, no, I'm gonna remake who I am, and the world will follow.
Yeah.
And it really fucking worked.
Yeah.
Like I said, I smile because I'm still surprised because it's that mind blowing, the power of it. And as soon as I did that, like I said, I didn't have to like try to do anything. It's like no more booze, no more Xanax, no more Valium, no more Trazodone, no more this. Back in the gym, back here. I'm gonna try put myself out there, and everything else followed.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, I didn't have a plan. I was like, no more thinking like a fucking little girl, to be honest with you, like a schoolgirl.
Dude, that's powerful, man. That's powerful. And I think a lot of guys, I just think, are in a bad place right now. Like, just with
I
the
know
way the
they
world
are,
is, man.
I can see it because I was there. It's like, ugh, it bothers me. It does. I feel bad, but at the same time, it's like feeling bad for motherfuckers does not help them.
Exactly.
Ladies, if you're feeling bad for any of your family members, your male family members, or your friends, don't. It doesn't help them. I know you think it does. They do. And they're not bad. Women are not bad for that, and they're not evil, and they're not anything. They're not.
Yeah.
They think it does because that's how.
That's what works for women.
That's what works for them.
Exactly.
It doesn't. The worst thing you could do is feel sorry for a motherfucker. Oh my God, it disabled me even more. It cut my nuts off.
Yeah. What would be your advice to guys who are on the come up or are at rock bottom currently and like wanting to make something of themselves?
Men need like concrete steps to take, and I'll keep it very simple. You take these steps, and then you don't know what's going to happen after that, and you just have to be open, because once you take these steps, then opportunities come as you keep pursuing and working your ass off and getting told fucking no. The second you stop, like, oh, I keep getting told no and stop, then that opportunities stop. So what you've spoken about. If you're sober, fantastic. If you're not, done. And I mean, if you're vaping, stop fucking vaping. That shit's poison. It melts your brain. You don't think so? You're fucking wrong. It does. It's like, oh, I didn't think any of this is prescribed by a doctor. It's not bad for me. It's fucking melted my brain. Drugs, alcohol, vape, any crutch, any of it. Stop all of it. And if you think there's nothing wrong and everyone told you it's cool, because misery loves fucking company. Everyone wants you to be
another big one's porn.
Yes.
It's a big one.
Yes. And everyone wants you to be a loser like them. Oh no. They want to pull you in to their fucking bullshit, because the second you try and leave, you're going to get resistance. So expect resistance. It means you're on the right track. When someone tells me I'm doing it can't be done, I know I'm on the right track. I literally double or triple down.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking wrong. Every single time they've been wrong. Nobody does that. Not the quote goes, everyone says it, and it's true. Not one man or woman that's doing as much as you or more will ever tell you anything negative about yourself. They're like, you can do it. You got this shit. Everyone tells you, no, come on, or keep doing the same shit. They're fucking losers. They want you to be a loser like them. You don't want to believe it? I don't care. It's the truth. It could be your family members. It could be your friends. It could be your wife. It could be whoever. You're going to have to fucking separate from that shit. I'm not saying just cut people out of your life, but know the truth.
Yeah.
They're wrong, and it doesn't matter what they think. I had to come to that realization from people that I were close with for a quarter century, some of them. Doesn't feel good. Guess what? Being a man doesn't fucking feel good all the time. Stop. A woman's supposed to feel good all the time. Why? Because women are supposed to be kind and nurturing. Men are not supposed to be like that, or nothing gets done. This fucking podcast would not exist. We have to build shit and do shit I hate.
Yeah.
To get to this point, we're not supposed to feel good. If you feel good, you're on some shit. You need to get off some shit. Seriously.
That's a great clip right there.
Yes.
If you feel too good, you're on some shit.
Get off that shit.
Yeah.
It's crippling you. It's cutting your fucking nuts off. It's castrating you.
Yeah.
And I used to, like I said, not coming from place of judgment, I used to like pursue that to its end, the hedonism, the fucking pleasure. No, it never works. It never lasts. Get rid of it. So all of those things that make you feel good temporarily, or you think make you feel good, they're all fucking poison. They're all going to ruin your life. Get rid of those. Very simple. Yes, if you're not in shape, yes, you need to physically exercise because people are going to respect you and be intimidated by you, and you're going to get your fucking way more because that's how Darwinism or natural selection or biology or nature, how it works.
Yeah.
Why that works?
Tell me, Jeremy, tell me this one thing. When you're in good shape right now, do people, when you're about to sell a house, do they respect you more when you're in shape or out of shape?
100%.
Which one is it?
100%. They're like, this motherfucker cares.
Yeah.
I tell everyone that I'm close with, and now I'm saying it to whoever sees this, and you, like, when I encounter anyone, man, woman, or child, I want them to think to themselves, fuck, I've never met a man that cared so much and gave less fucks at the same time. That is my entire existence.
Yeah.
If I do that, I'm good. That is my goal with everything. Damn, with anything I do, I want people like, damn, I've never met a man that cared so much and gave less fucks at the same time. That is my everything to me. And it should be everything to any man. Because the other things that we all go after, they don't give us that. So become sober, really sober. Like I said, everything you're like, oh, well, no, stop going to fucking McDonald's. It's delicious. I get it. Whatever that is. Stop rationalizing your bullshit, quite frankly, like a little schoolgirl would.
Yeah.
Oh, well, no, that's a luxury children get to have, not men. Why would a woman or anyone respect you if you can't stop going to fucking Del Taco?
Yeah.
They didn't for me. It's not going to work for you. So whatever that is, and you're like, oh, well, I don't do any of this. I'm not doing any hardcore drugs. It's probably better if you did because it's more obvious to you your problem. So become completely sober. Recognize the bullshit you're doing. Like I said, the pornography is a problem for you. Whatever your problems are, get rid of it. Do those things. These are concrete things you can do. You don't need anyone to do it. You don't need any special money. Like I said, it's going to save you money, actually.
Yeah.
Then you're going to feel better about yourself. And then, yes, you need to get into the gym and exercise. You can't afford the fucking gym. Run around the goddamn block.
Yeah.
Stop making excuses. Your body's going to burn the saturated and fat and the poisons that are in your body that literally are on your brain from stopping you from thinking clearly. Just like I had to get sober and be for months until the fog wore off. And I am who I am now, energy wise and intellectually. I was that before when I was sober, and I lost myself for 9 years. I call it a lost decade.
Yeah.
It took months for that to get out of my system. And the only way was to become sober and to exercise.
Right.
And so then that you're going to feel better. You're going to look better. You're going to get more respect, and you're going to be, women are going to be more attracted to you because you give a fuck.
People are going to be more attracted.
Yes. You're going to get your way more.
Yeah.
In everything. Because you have shown that you give a fuck. That's all you have to literally do. When we break it down, it's like, oh, what do I do? Show that you give a fuck. You vaping, you doing all this bullshit shows you don't give a fuck. You chasing after pussy shows you don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You show you give a fuck about yourself, people start giving a fuck about you.
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
Yeah.
Again, I was clueless about this. So, been there.
Love it.
You do those things, and then you try things that you've never done before and fail, and then you learn. That's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing more to it. Get rid of the poison, whatever that is, and it's going to be all the shit you never thought would.
It's be hard.
If you're really going to look in the mirror. Oh, yeah. Because what's wrong? Everyone's going to tell you, what's wrong going to Del Taco once in a while? What's wrong fucking doing, going to the strip club once in a while? What's wrong? You got to let some steam off. Poison. Become sober with everything you're doing. Care about how you feel and look, and then try to become better at whatever that is. What is something, anything, whatever whatever you think you have, look at where your talents. Everyone has some.
Mhm.
They might not have mine. They might not stop looking and try to be other motherfuckers.
Right.
Find out what you could potentially be good at and try it, and you're going to get kicked in the nuts. Guess what? Newsflash, it's not going to work. If it works out, it's some fluke. It's going to bite you in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be terrible. And then you keep trying, and then it might not work, but you learn some things and you can try something else. Or it is, and you just have to go through the process and keep no. I did 2 videos a week, and everyone clowned my ass on Facebook. 2 videos a week for 8 months before I made any money from it. Everyone thought I was, like I said, everyone talked hella shit. Said I was just doing it to get pussy, to like it was a gimmick and just like clown shit. Like best case scenarios, like my mother's like, oh, that's cute. Like no one, everyone thought it was a joke because no one's gonna see what you see.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's gonna not understand it because people can only come from a place of their experience in life.
Right. Right. They put those limitations on you.
Yes, that is human nature. If you understand that, things are going to be so much easier for you.
Yeah.
Everyone is going to be like, here's my experience, and they're going to project it on you. It's not even a fucking negative thing, but it should be completely disregarded because it's not your experience.
Yeah.
If it was, it should be completely taken in and absorbed and considered highly, but it's not. That's why you hear Dana White and all these people like, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks or said or about me or does or do what. I know what I have to do.
Yeah.
And like, yes, nobody expect to be lonely in that sense if you want to actually be a man and get what you want, because everyone's going to naysay you and it's lonely at the top. If you get there, it's a good thing. We're not supposed to be just like, everything's great. It makes us weak motherfuckers. And then we're no use to women or other men that need our help, that are younger and need our leadership and mentorship. We're no use to ourselves. If you're just getting all claps, you're fucking up really bad, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So this is the trajectory. It's extremely hard, but it's not hard to do.
Right.
Like to know how. Here's the path. Will you see it through? That's on you. Does it work? Every fucking time.
Yeah.
That's what should give you some solace, some encouragement. I didn't know. I was the first to do what I do in my industry in the country. How do I know? I'm the only motherfucker on video in that year. I've looked. That's the beautiful thing about social media, amongst other things, is that, yes, I was the first to do this. So I had no reference point. I didn't have Tony Robbins, and he's right. Talks about why try and start from scratch. Learn from the best who have done it in the world and learn their mistakes and don't make those, and you can really do things faster. I didn't have that, but it made me fucking invincible.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have anyone to rely on but myself. You can't put a price on that kind of power.
Right.
Because it didn't come from somewhere else or some helpers. He said, I wish it did, but now I don't. Because it gave me something that no one can take from me. It doesn't fucking matter what happens on the outside. I'm not saying that's going to happen overnight. It didn't. It took me about 8 years. And it's a little sooner. I'm just saying, like, here, it's been 8 years since I just like really did that.
Yeah.
But even a few years in, it worked. It really worked. And I had to keep learning and gaining wisdom along the way because I wasn't there yet. And now it's been 8 years and 20 years of my career and 8 years of really doing shit right, or attempting to, and failing most of the time, really. And it got me to really in a position where I have everything I actually want in my life and no one can take it from me. And I earned it myself and no one fucking gave it to me.
Yeah.
That's power.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
That's power.
And I mean, obviously, because I know you're in real estate, man, I actually want to do a little bit of sales talk too. I think that a lot of the things that we talked about here today, like when we talk about like the frame that you're in, setting boundaries, saying no, putting your foot down, you know, I always like have noticed like what's synonymous with like dating and sales are pretty much the same thing. Like what works in one definitely works in the other. And I think people are not only nice guys in obviously dating and relationships and stuff like that, but also they are like that in jobs that require them to network and communicate with people. And my question to you is, how important is setting boundaries and not being a nice guy and actually putting your foot down? How important is that when you're actually closing prospects and doing sales?
I can't stress enough the importance of it.
Yeah.
I've only really fully, that was the last lesson. So
Yeah.
like I said, if you want to like becoming a fucking, going from being a Padawan apprentice to a Jedi.
Yeah.
That was the last thing. And it was the hardest thing for me. Because I have my song and dance, and I always have since I was a little boy.
Yeah.
And people are like, yay, Poison. I thought it was so great. And so I was like, even maybe the last 18 months.
Yeah.
Literally. I was like, okay, I don't fuck with any users, losers, liars, or thieves. I don't care who the fuck you are, my relation to you, nothing. Gone. Bye, motherfuckers. Toodaloo. I didn't have the balls to do that before. This was 18 months ago. I accomplished amazing things as first realtor in the country to appear on both HGTV and $1 Million Listing. Like, wow, what I did for myself. But I still didn't. I still didn't do that, and it was holding me back.
Yeah.
I was like, why am I not at the top like everyone else? I've accomplished way more. That was it.
Yeah.
It really was. And as soon as I really meant it and did it.
Yeah.
Kicked everyone out of my fucking life and stopped trying to be cool with them. Like a lot of these people, I don't wish them bad. And like Tupac said, or whoever the fuck said it, like, I want these motherfuckers to eat, but they cannot eat at my table.
Yeah.
They can't.
I've really noticed, because I observe this stuff, being a networker and communicating.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
If so, and you didn't know that coming and asking me that.
Yeah.
That was the thing that's like took me from here to really here. And like I can still have my trajectories going up. It was holding me back, it was ruining me on a different level of what I was possible for me. All these things I changed and accomplished, it was still fucked my life, really. And that was just 18 months ago.
Yeah. I've noticed how, like, when you're at an event or you're at a conference or like when you're talking to higher value people, you like kind of like how like what nice guys do, right? Like they try to cater to people, they try to bend themselves to other people. But I noticed with the way you quote unquote sell, you don't really sell. You have a frame. You're the higher status person in the room. You make like the prospect, the lead, like it's almost like they need to convince you why you're going to sell them a property.
Yeah.
And I noticed like when you have that frame, richer people want to talk to you and more successful people want to work with you.
Yes. And they want to also be friends with you.
Yeah.
They want to teach you things. They accept you as a peer.
Yeah.
Which gives you access to their wisdom.
Yes. You have status.
Yes. It's all about status, like Sartain says. It is. He keeps hammering it away every fucking day because it's the truth and it has to fucking click or it doesn't. It didn't click with me until it did.
Yeah.
Literally. And so I give him all the credit in the world because I was resistant as a friend, but resistant. It didn't affect him, but he still cared enough to keep fucking hammering away because he saw what I could be.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't see what I could be. He saw what I could be if he kept making that investment in me. I'll always be grateful to him for that.
That's awesome.
I really will.
That's awesome.
And there are people like that everywhere, but you have to give them the ability to help you. Like, no, Michael never gave me a hand out. He gave me a hand up.
Right.
Everyone's looking for a handout from all these people that have made it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do that. And that's why what kept him in making that investment in me is that, if I give him a hand up, the knowledge, the encouragement, he will do it. He's not asking for a handout for me to do it for him.
Right.
Don't ever ask a motherfucker to do shit for you. Ask him how to teach you how to do it for yourself. They'll give you that, every single one.
And that's infinitely more valuable.
Way more valuable than money or anything. They will. Not like 90% of the time, not 95, 100 times out of 100 times.
Yeah.
If you ask them to give you the knowledge or the wherewithal, whatever that is, to do it for yourself, they'll do it every time.
100%.
If you ask them to do it for you, they'll tell you to fuck yourself if they're smart.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to cripple you, like some people do that have,
Yeah.
or so, I'm soft on some motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I am guilty as charged. I stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Not because I realized that I wasn't helping these people that I cared about. I'm like, oh, I care about them. And it's just lie I told myself. It was really for my own ego, my own self-importance. I'm like, someone's right here. I have the ability, I've always had that, to take someone right here to here. But guess what? As soon as I step away, they don't go back to where they were. They go back, they go down to here.
Yeah.
So what am I doing? It's not really for them. It's for me to feel self-important in my ego, and I motherfuck them in the process.
Yeah.
So I really care about these people.
So you both lose.
Yeah. I fuck them to make me feel self-important. No, thank you. And it's like, oh, but I thought you cared, and all this poison's going to come your way. Ignore it. Ignore it. Fucking ignore it. It's all poison. It's all nonsense. Pull at your heartstrings. I tell people, I joke, I'm dead inside. And to a certain degree, I'm full of shit, but to a certain degree, I'm not.
Yeah.
Just like you have to not, it's like, again, it's like being a father. Like you don't, giving in to your children doesn't make them better off. It makes them worse off, but it makes you able to be them to like you, and so you feel better about yourself. So is it really about them? No, it's about your selfish fucking nonsense.
Right.
It's terrible, and that doesn't change if you're 6 or 60. Stop it. I had to stop doing that. I realized it was about me feeling like I wanted to be a cool guy instead of actually helping someone. I fuck these people.
Yeah.
That's on me.
100%.
I had to stop.
Yeah.
I had to stop. And it didn't really feel good to stop because they hated it. No, please wait. And then I was like, oh, I'm actually helping them objectively. They're here to here. No, it's not real. It's a temporary fucking Band-Aid. No one can help anyone until they help themselves.
Right.
When these people help themselves,
that's awesome.
Then you can, like I said, extend the hand. Not a fucking second sooner.
100%.
Not a second.
100%, dude. And I wanted to get into, man, like what's I know you have your own brokerage you're starting, man. I just wanted to get into like you've done all this stuff. You were kind of like reborn over the past like decade or so.
Yeah.
And my question is like, what's next for you? What do you got coming up?
Well, I'm not going to get into too many details, but 20 years of ups and downs, and like I said, the whole journey, whatever you want to call it, taking a look in the mirror has paid off, and it's paid off big. And now I literally have everything that I ever wanted. I became that guy. And now that I am that guy, there's nothing I can't do. And now I have opportunities. Yes, I'm going to be opening my own brokerages. And why am I limiting myself? I used to be like, I can only do this or I can only do that. When it's really, like I said, when I got rid of the dead weight, the users, losers, liars, and thieves, I thought I dreamed big, but I didn't. I really dreamed big. And what everyone thought was impossible happened.
Yeah.
I've raised an enormous amount of money, enormous. And I'm going to be opening a new type of brokerage. Awesome. Never been done before. Just like you said, what I did is social media, and Michael Sartain, a huge influence. I remember like 2018, January, we had dinner. He showed me how to do Instagram story. Changed my whole fucking life, my business, my personal life, everything for what he taught me. And like I've taken all of these things where people give me hand ups, and mentorship and opportunities. And now I've put myself, the missing link was me becoming who I needed to be personally, not in business. And now I'm going fucking big. And like, it wasn't even my idea. It just came out of nowhere. I didn't seek it out. Every time I'm like, I run motherfuckers over. I see something I want, I go after it. And that works a lot of the time. It can only get you so far. And I was like, I'm just going to sit back and see what's going to happen. Now I have an opportunity to become a Fortune 500 brokerage and really change how the industry is done, because we have huge problems in this business. Our business, realtors and real estate brokerages are in huge trouble. Yeah. Huge trouble. No one wants to talk about it because it scares people. It should fucking scare. scare them. It really should. I've been in the game
Mhm.
so long. I've seen everything. I know what's wrong. There's storm clouds
Mhm.
on the horizon for those who don't take control of their own destiny.
Right.
And this is the opportunity. Now I can provide an alternative to realtors. There's 1.6 million of us.
Mhm.
I've always wanted to do something big, and make an impact for good. Now I'm going to be able to essentially provide an alternative to a current shit sandwich that's being served up to realtors the last 10 years or so. Now I'm going to provide a way out, a hand up, not a handout,
Mhm.
a way out.
Dude.
It's fucking exciting. Not for me. I'm going to be all right.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've always been like I said. But to be able to impact others that want to help themselves on a huge scale,
Mhm.
that's what all this fucking agony and pain and all the failure is about. What else is it for?
Yeah.
It's there's no virtue in fucking failure and pain and whatever you want to call it in and of itself. There's a higher purpose to it.
Right.
And you have to find that, or you're not going to be fucking happy as a man.
Mhm.
I don't think you'll be happy as a woman either. But I'm not a woman. I can only speak to how men are.
Mhm.
Until you become who you need to be and then do something with it, you're going to fucking be upset.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel like shit ain't right.
Mhm.
And then to be able to not to really like, oh, all of this bullshit and all of this failure gave me all this wisdom. And now I can use that for something that can impact tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of people in a positive way. Can't put a price on that. You can't put a price on that. That's the next stop. What that looks like exactly, I have no fucking idea, Tristan.
Mhm.
And if I said so, or anyone else said here's how it's going to go, they're lying.
Yeah.
They're lying. I don't know. All I have to do, but I have to go down that road. I know what I have to do. I don't know how to do it or how it's going to end up. I just have to trust in myself, really, because you can't rely on anyone else. You have to fucking it has to come from within. I always sought outside resources, validation. This guy can, I just follow him. No. And there's nothing wrong with that. But no, I'm supposed to lead by example. I'm a warrior king. And we're like, oh my God, that's very arrogant. No, it's not. It's the fucking truth. I don't sit on my fucking throne and tell people, go do this and go do that. That's just the king. The king's not impressive. That's just, you got a crown. That don't mean shit. No. I'm Alexander. He goes, he charges first and doesn't ask anyone to do something that he's not doing himself. That's how I don't ask anyone, you or anyone, to do something that I'm not willing to do myself, and I do it first.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. I had to conjure the courage to do that. And there's going to be fucking a lot of forces against you.
Yeah.
Because most men, they're going to look like shit, and they don't want that. So they're going to try and put the fucking kibosh on that.
Yeah.
Real quick. Anything you succeed or excel in anything in life. It doesn't matter in real estate. Whatever it is. This podcast, you're doing well. And I'm not just saying that. Everyone fucking be on it.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers are not going to like it because they're projecting their own self-limiting beliefs onto you.
Right.
And they can't imagine that because they can't do it for themselves or won't. Usually it's a combination. Usually motherfuckers either can't or won't. But sometimes it's a combo. Most of the time they just won't. They can. They won't even try. And they hate it because you're making them look bad that you are.
Yeah.
And especially when you succeed, it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're on the right track. When no one's telling you go fuck yourself and they don't like what you're doing, that's when I know I'm doing well and I'm on the right track. When everyone's like, oh, great job. I'm like, start from scratch again. So this is what it should be about. How long is it going to get there? How are you going to get there? Nobody knows. I don't know. But now all of these things that I wanted just came out of nowhere. I didn't do anything. I did enough work indirectly. And that's what I didn't understand. I was like, I just close enough deals and do enough business and do like these things. That's transactional shit.
Mhm.
Like, no, let me look within. Fuck, I don't want to look within. Oh my God, I got to change all this. This is yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes. And then when I did that, and I was like, fuck, I don't want to get rid of, I like her or I like him.
Mhm.
I don't want to tell them to go fuck themselves and ghost them,
Mhm.
but they're killing me inside. They're
Yeah.
poison. Everything that I didn't want to do, when I did that, that's why then suddenly I get however many millions. I'm not going to discuss. Like I said, then I get this partner and that partner and this opportunity and that. Like,
yeah,
it's not a coincidence. I refuse to believe in that. Like, there's no, life has no meaning.
right.
Like, no, it's so obvious that there's a direct correlation. It's like scary. And I didn't used to believe any of that. I used to be like, whatever happens, happen. There's no rhyme or reason for it. And you just have to fucking eat shit. No, not at all. It's quite the opposite. I was completely wrong because that justified my existence at the time for feeling like a little bitch, you know, and feeling sorry for myself and being this victim. Everyone else's fault. This girl's fault. My ex-wife's fault. No, it ruined me.
Yeah.
By changing that led to all the success and money and the impact and power and things that I always wanted. And I was like, oh, if I just do these other things, I was doing the wrong shit the whole time. I was like, oh, I sell enough, you know, properties and I appear on television, or I do this, or I have my own court, you know, training course, or I have my own speaking events. I gotta have 200. Now I have 500. No, it was looking within. And it sounds cliche, and I hate to say it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But it's true. Is when I did what it was about me.
Yeah.
And how I looked at myself mainly, and then secondarily, how I looked at the outside world and other people in relation to myself. Then everything like literally fell out of the fucking sky. My relationship that I have now, best I've ever had. Not even close. My business, best, not even close. My friendships and people of respect I have from peers and strangers, not even close. So I tried one thing. It got me to certain points, but no, it was when I really, like, that was easy for me. Easy for me. Always been easy for me to make money and close deals. I had to like, what's hard for me? So if you want to be great at anything, you're going to have to do that as a man. And everyone's going to tell you, no, you're great. You're special. Don't listen. You know, you're good enough. You're not fucking good enough, as Sartain says. Not even close.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough as it is now. If I really want to get to where I want to go, and I don't even know what that is, I'm going to have to change.
Yeah.
It's not over. And it's never going to be over. And everyone's going to look to you as a man for the leadership and the stability and the mentorship and the really to tell them the truth. And most men are afraid to talk. Like I said, it's just true. I'm not patting myself on the back. I've had strangers come up to me like, been like, wow, this guy manages over $2 billion in assets. He came up to me. He saw me on Sartain's podcast. He came up to me at Jing like 18 months ago or 2 years ago. And was like, wow, I saw you on Sartain. He's like, you were fucking raw. You didn't hold anything back. And what a comeback story. He's like, and he bought my $300 dinner, and now we're friends, and he's made me a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And I told him all I did is talk on Sartain's podcast to what a fucking degenerate loser I was. Does that make any sense, guys? Guys, does that make any fucking sense? So stop thinking.
Yeah.
Start doing. Start being real.
Yeah.
Just because I was like, he was like, this is a real motherfucker. I want to be around him, and I want to do business with people like that because he's not fake. I never saw that coming. So anything great in your life, you're never going to be able to predict. Every time I'm like, anything, I've been like, oh, it's going to go like this. Not once in history has it gone like that. Like, oh, I'm so smart. I'm so this. So I'm educated. I had this experience. Still clueless.
Yeah.
I had to let go. I'll leave it at that.
Awesome, dude. Dude, I can't think of a better way to top off the episode, man. Dude, where can the viewers find you?
You can find me on Instagram. It's a long handle, but Jeremy Lewis Vegas Realtor on Instagram. That's my main mechanism how I communicate, and so I do most of my business on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. But like I said, much more to come. I'm gonna, can't drop it now. But big things are coming. You're gonna see a lot.
We'll
see a lot of that soon. But yeah, find me Jeremy Lewis Vegas Realtor. I operate my own accounts. I do my own posting.
Yeah.
I have my own brand. So if you message me, I will answer. If you want a handout, I'm not going to answer. You want a hand up, I'm going to answer. And it's going to be me. And I like doing that. So you got any questions? I'm there. Got any bullshit? I'm not.
Awesome, dude.
And that's how people can get a hold of me.
I love it, dude. Well, dude, this was an awesome episode, man. I learned a lot. I think everyone who watches is going to learn a lot. And yeah, well, till next time.
I appreciate it. And yeah, let's keep going.
Awesome.
Let's do this.
Thanks, man.
Boom.
Appreciate you.
There we go.
That's a wrap. Dude, we went for a while.
Yeah, sorry.